am letting my car warm up. I need to run to town today and pick up a few little things at the grocery store. And then supposedly I'm getting a refrigerator today. And here is Simon, because he's heard me talking. He's as bad as Willie anymore. I'm getting a refrigerator today, and I need to be here for delivery of that. I think today what I'm going to do once I get in from the barn, I'm so used to going to the barn. Once I get in from the grocery store is I'm going to sit down and pull out all my yarn and organize it and photograph it for Kirsty's stash busting cowl next year. She wanted you to photograph your stash so that you would know where you started, and then start putting together patterns and project bags and everything. And I don't have enough needles and hooks to put in everything, but I can at least get it organized and kind of go through what I already have bagged up that I had intended to start this year and just haven't gotten to. I always dream big. Always dream big on my planning, but I'm not a very fast knitter, as y'all know. And I'm a faster crocheter, but I'm not a very fast knitter, so I probably bit off way more than I could chew in terms of the number of projects I wanted to get done. But I went through last night and thought about what I already had laid out, and I still want to make all of it, so I'm going to keep it in the bags that it's in. I'm filling out my check for my vet to pay off my balance for this year. Thankfully, my equine vet allows me to make payments, which is good. And I'm just paying off my balance that I owe her for this year, and then I will be done with that. I am going to probably spend, as I said, most of the day at the house, not doing a whole lot, just because I need to be here for receiving delivery of the refrigerator, and who knows when it's coming or if it's coming. And that's pretty much going to be my day. I'm sorry it's not more exciting, because we had a little too much excitement the last few days. But I'm going to get this in the mail to her. These cats, I swear, every time I sit down to start recording, it's just like a moth to a flame. Here they come. Anyway, I got my check filled out. I'm going to fix my envelope up here and pop this in the mail on my way to town. I'll probably just mail it in town, although I might put it out here, and that way I know when the mail has come. Our mail has gotten kind of erratic. Used to, I knew it would pretty reliably come by 1 in the afternoon, and now I think they may have changed the order of the route as they run it, because our route used to be one of the longer ones out here, and I think they may be running it in a different order, and it's probably a lot to do with where the mail carrier lives, and it's probably easier for them to start and work back. But now I may not get my mail till 4 or 5 in the afternoon. So anyway, I'm going to get this ready to mail, and if my car's warmed up, I'm going to run to town and pick up a few little things at the grocery store. So woohoo, big excitement this morning on Vlogmas Day 17. Hi, Muffins. How's my Muffins? Oh, you're a good girl. You're a good girl. Okay, well, I've got my shopping done, my grocery shopping. We have a little grocery store here in town that has a reasonable variety of stuff. I need certain really specialty things. I have to go to Russellville or get it in Conway while I'm at work, but for the most part I can get what I need, because I don't buy a lot. I try not to buy a lot of processed foods, and that was the downside to not having a refrigerator for a while, is I either had to buy something I could cook and just eat one of, or buy something that was already kind of pre-made, and I hate that. Now that I have a refrigerator again, that's not a problem, because I buy mostly ingredients, and I do a lot of cooking, and I like to cook big, I like to use a crock pot or make a double batch of something and eat on it for several days, because I don't have a problem eating leftovers for 3 or 4 days. And when I'm working, a lot of times I'll take it for my lunches. Speaking of refrigerators, Lowe's called me, and they will be out late. They said late this afternoon. I don't know what that means, with a refrigerator. So I'm not even going to worry about getting the house. I've got horses on the mind. The house in order until after lunchtime. I just need to make sure I pick up the dog dishes and sweep, and then make sure the dogs and the cats are, as much as possible, shut up in the back part of the house so they don't let them out. The car, I'm driving my car today. Mr. Taylor, a neighbor who I sometimes get hay from, he is an electrician, and he works on nuclear plant outages a lot, and he owns a farm. Actually, it's land my family used to own, but it changed hands a couple of times, and he owns it now. And he's been a pretty good neighbor. I mean, we got off kind of a rough start because of the people he used to associate with, and then he kind of found out what terrible people they were. And anyway, he's been a good help to me this year, and I appreciate that. He had stopped by to talk about the hay, and I had mentioned something about my alternator on my car, and so being an electrician, he had his bag with him, and he tested the voltage, and he said, your alternator's working fine. So I don't know if it was just really cold and the car was just being cranky, but so far I haven't had any more issues with it, so that's good. That means I don't have to buy an alternator, which is good. So this morning, I think the plan is going to be, once I get my groceries in, I'm going to start getting my stash out. I don't have as big of a stash as a lot of people do, but I do have some, and I want to get it out and kind of lay it out and look at it and photograph it for Kirsty's make-along for next year. And just kind of see what I've got, and kind of see, like I said, what I had set aside to start, because a lot of the stuff that I bought with a specific plan for it. Now, some of it I didn't. Some of it, like the yarns that I got from Leon Alexander Yarns, I just wanted in that yarn club, so I didn't really have a plan for it necessarily. And I think I have changed my ideas for some of it. Kind of as I have matured as a knitter, I've changed my taste a little bit, and I am up for like challenges of like these very complex shawls and things like that. Even though I gripe about them, I still like making them. I like the challenge. But anyway, I want to get everything out and kind of see what I've got and kind of put some things together, and see what direction I want to go with it. And yeah, so that's kind of what I'm going to spend my morning doing, I think. And so I'll kind of show y'all what I'm doing as I go. And also, I've got the itch to work on that carousel horse cross stitch today. So I think what I'm going to kind of do is break my day up into like blocks of time. So I may work on my stash for say an hour and a half, and then work on my cross stitch for say an hour and a half. I got one snowflake done last night after I finished a hat, and I want to make at least 1 or 2 more today. I got to watching some different programs last night, and I don't know, they kind of, I liked them, I enjoyed them, and I'm glad that I watched them, but they kind of got next to me. These anything that deals with affairs of the heart kind of hits me funny, because that is one area of my life that has not been very good. And so it kind of gets next to me a little bit. So I kind of stayed up really late with, my mind turning things over and over and over. And so I stayed up pretty late last night for me. It was like 1 or something like that when I finally went to bed, and that's really late for me. But I enjoyed both the shows that I watched. One of them was just a little weird, really odd. It was just an odd Christmas. It was a Christmas movie, but it was really just odd. And then the other one was a British series, and it had won a lot of awards, and it was really good. And it is not for everybody. It is not. It is very racy. Well, racy is a word for it, but it's not like intentionally racy, and it's got a lot of choice words in it. I enjoyed watching it, but you know, it dealt with some, you know, family emotional issues and questions of love and self-worth and stuff, and it really kind of got next to me a little bit. But anyway, you know, and when it was over, I'm like, but now what happens next? You know, when they kind of leave you hanging and you kind of want to know what happens to the main character, and they kind of leave it to you to fill in the blanks. And anyway, so yeah, that's kind of what I did last night. So anyway, I'm gonna head on to the house here and unload my shopping and get started on my stash project. Baxter, are you helping me? Are you helping me? Yes, him's helping me. Are you helping me? Mommy's missing a skein of yarn. It's here somewhere. Just gotta find it. Trying to get everything out, and I'm not sure the best way to organize all this mess. Decided for purposes of Kirsty's cowl, I'm just going to group my types of yarn together and take a group photo, and then maybe just mark off what I've used of it. So this is the group photo of my current cotton yarn, and then what I'll do is I'll take individual photos and put on Ravelry, I guess. We'll see if I'm that ambitious. Just came, and look what came. Mary sent me these amazing books. She said she finds them at, she's like me, she loves to scour library exchanges and thrift stores. Look at these books, y'all. Look at these patterns in this book. There's some gorgeous patterns in there. Wow. Those are amazing. Golly, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That's amazing too. I love that. And that too. I see so many I want to make. And then this one. Ooh, that looks warm. Those look great. Look at those. And that's something I think we forget about, having all these great books that are out there. But oh, this is the very best one. Look at that. It's charted. It's charted patterns for different designs. You can do. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that extended trot. Yes. And there's Piaf. Awesome. That's so cool. There's a galloping horse and one laying down. Those are so cool. And then she sent me an ornament for my tree. That's so amazing, Mary. Thank you so much. You treat me so well, and I'm just so spoiled, and I'm so grateful. And I have something to send to you too, so I'll get that in the mail this week. I've been saving it up because I wanted to make a couple of things for you, so I'll have it in the mail this week. Baxter, I don't need that kind of help. Quit playing with the Leon Alexander yarn. You got good taste, though. Well, I've gotten about halfway through photographing my stash. I'm trying to like group it for Kirsty's thing, but then I'm trying to take individual pictures too, so that I can put it on Ravelry, which is going to take a while. I didn't realize I had that much yarn. I don't think of myself as someone who has a lot of stash until you get it all out there and you're like, okay. So anyway, I'm going to eat some lunch and probably go ahead and put out hay and feed, and that way I can be around the house for when the Lowe's people bring the refrigerator. So, big fun here. Okay, well, I've got my chili here that I've warmed up in the crock pot, and I'm going to watch some Vlogmas episodes and just relax for a few minutes, and then, and here is Simon again, and then go out and do my feed. Y'all enjoying those greens? Yeah. Store had a deal on turnip greens, so I got y'all some too. Hey, Penny. You don't want any greens. You want something sweet, don't you? Yeah. You like that? Is that good stuff? Guess what? I just got a phone call from the Lowe's delivery. They're not bringing it today because they've run out of time on their drive time, which I totally understand. And then they said, well, you need to call and reschedule this. And I'm like, why do I have to take care of this? Because it was y'all's problem for not getting out here. So I just spent 15 minutes in a phone hysteresis loop. And if you don't know what that is, you can look it up. A hysteresis loop is a physics thing. Trying to get someone on the phone to help me at Lowe's in Russellville. And by the time I talked to the little girl the third time at the service desk, I said, can you please just take a message? Because if I have to go through this again, whoever answers the phone is not going to find me very pleasant. And I was very polite with her. She said she would take my information and go find a manager and have them call me back. I cannot begin to express to y'all how angry I am right now. This is just flipping pitiful customer service. Pitiful. Very pitiful. Anyway, but I've been working on my stash. Yay. Y'all, I can't make this up. I can't make it. Here. They brought it. I didn't even have, I left a message for the manager and they called me back and took care of it. So I feel bad for the delivery guys because it's the management people are not giving them good information. So anyway, my refrigerator's here. Yay! The saga is at long ended. Hey guys, hi Willie, you got on your coat. Smiley's got on her coat and Wally's right here. He's so close he can't hardly get in the camera. And there's Fevers. And Daffodilus, Raya, Fizz. Hi, buddy. Well, Wally is keeping me good close company tonight. I am tired. I got a lot of, I sorted through all my hand-dyed yarn. I didn't realize I had so much. It was kind of amazing how much I had once I laid it all out there and looked. So I got most of it. I got all of it documented on Ravelry except for the Leon Alexander stuff, which I still need to do. And I got most of the pictures of the stuff that I got documented put up. I've got some commercial, what I call commercial yarn, so like sock yarns and some Malabrigo and Barocco and things like that that I need to do too. You know, Kirsty doesn't expect us to put it all on Ravelry, but I thought, well, Custer, what's the matter, bud? Come on. What's the matter? I figured, well, while I was at it, why not? Why not get it, you know, done so I see what I have? Well, you can get on the bed. There's room for you. Come on. He's wanting on his dog bed and somebody's sitting on it. It's okay. You're okay. Anyway, we had quite the saga, but hopefully the saga of the refrigerator is now over. And Custer, honey, what is the matter? Got Custer situated. he's my big whiny baby. He will whine until he gets his way, basically. Or he'll step all over the other dogs until he gets his way. Anyway, so the saga of the refrigerator is now ended, I hope. It should be. Which I'm very glad it is over. I spent most of all the day, besides doing my chores, just going through documenting my stash, which needed to be done so I could see what I had, and going through things that I had already decided what I was going to use it for, and deciding if I still wanted to continue with that project or not. There's a couple of projects that I don't want to keep doing for various reasons, that they just don't work for me anymore. So I frogged those out. And so then now I'm in bed, sitting in the bed, working on another scrappy hat. Finished the one I was working on, and I'm done with the increase rounds on this one. I'm going to try to use up the last of this skein of yarn tonight. And then tomorrow I've got to get up and package up the jellies and jams to take to Lisa tomorrow. Carol and I are going to go up to where she works in Yellville, which is up in north central Arkansas. It's up above the Buffalo River, so I'll try to take some footage of that tomorrow. It's really beautiful up there, and we're going to go up there and just see. Maybe we'll geocache some, or just go see what we can see. Anyway, Willie and Ray are tussling on the bed right now. It's been kind of a quiet day, other than just documenting my stash and everything, as you saw. So I think I'm going to call it a night, and I will check in with you guys again tomorrow. So bye. You going to tell him bye? You going to tell him bye, Wally? You a good boy. Oh, he's not going to tell you bye. He's camera shy. All right. Good night, y'all.